Good morning, everybody. I sent you an email that had the link to the ActAspirePearson.com exemplars page. On that page, you'll be able to go through a test, and I'm going to do that right now just to familiarize ourselves again with um, the tools that are available within the test because we may have forgotten. So across the top, you can try any test you want. And to get to the test, you put in the username of English 3 and Act Aspire or whatever grade you have and whatever test you'd like to take. So I'm going to do an English test first. So I'm just going to do English 3 Act Aspire. So I can emulate the test by clicking on Student Sandbox. And when I go there, then I'm going to put in English 3 and then Act Aspire as my password as soon as it lets me get there. Okay, all right, there we go. So I'm going to put in English 3 and Act Aspire because that's what it said to do. So I'm going to go to sign in. Here is what the students will receive. So it will be a welcome screen. You're about to start a test. It will tell them how many. For those of you who are new, we know that we have to read the directions with them one by one, and then the students will have to click on a button when we're finished. And they are told that they have to give their own answers and all that kind of stuff. So once you start the test, then it will say start section. Once you start the section, here is the test, but there are some tools that are important that you should know about and maybe remind the kids of. And you could, for instance, if you go into review, it's going to show you all of the questions. It's going to show you at the bottom all questions not answered and how many bookmarks you have. If a student reads through a passage and they're not sure and they'd like to bookmark that passage, they can go ahead and click on bookmark. And when you do that, that puts it in review. So now when you go down here, you have 15 that are still not answered and you have one bookmark. So that's for question one. Now, the other thing you can do, I'm going to move to the next page by clicking on the arrow. So I click arrow to go to next. And then on here, I could answer the questions, but there are also some other things I can do. If I go to the little drop down menu, I can enable a magnifier, which might be good for some of our students. You can also show a line reader mask as well. So it would only just give them, it would help them to just move down the page and go to each line one at a time. All right, so that's another thing that they could do. Good to know where that is. And then when they answer the questions, the highlighted words in the essay may drag the word choices. They need to read. You can't help them with that, but they need to read that. So I'm just going to put some words in. I didn't read it. So I'm going to move to the next page now because I'm finished. In a multiple choice, aside from the review and the bookmarking feature and the magnifying and the masking, there's also the pointer, so they could just point and click on the right answer, but sometimes they like to eliminate some answers, so they can read and they can, as they're reading, eliminate just by clicking on the X, and then they can go back to choose with the arrow. All right, and then they would move to the next page, and again they can constantly review to see which ones they've answered, which ones they haven't answered, and it will tell them at the bottom where they're at. Okay, so when they get to the end, let's see what, if I can just go to the end of all of these, and they can see on the top what page they're on and how many they have left. So they'll be able to go through that, and let's just see what happens at the end here so you know. All right, so we're on 15 of 15, and we're going to, congratulations, you reached the end of the test, and it will say how many are not answered, how many bookmarks there are, and they can click back here to get to them and go to the ones that they need to answer, and then they can go back to the bookmarked one and answer that as well. When they're finished, they submit their final answers. So that would be there. Are you sure you want to? You will not be able to return to the test, and they say yes. But I want to show you that one of the problems that can happen is that they've signed into the wrong test. If that happens, you would go down here and you would say sign out of test nav, or it might say choose another test. And they have to choose ACT Aspire, not Illinois. It will be ACT Aspire. So I'm going to submit these final questions. I'm going to say yes, I would like to submit them. And then it says your sign out is complete. Now on the teacher end, you'll be able to monitor where the students are. It will let you know what question they're on. It will let you know who's finished. So you'll be able to monitor that as they are working. Okay, hope this is helpful.